Hey YouTube, I need to make a nice rich patch that's kind of a pad sound for a song that I'm working on. And I figured this would be a good Let's Play. So I've got Cassini open because it is awesome for making really evolving pads. It's got all these envelopes, like 12 or 14 or something crazy like that. So it gives it a lot of opportunity to grow and expand as the note plays. And this is typically used for kind of sci-fi sounds. That's why it's called Cassini. It's got this like kind of ethereal, spacey sort of feel. But I am trying to make a dark kind of soaring thing. So I'm going to try to make it not sound like sci-fi and more like horror. And so yeah, here's an excellent example that I did with using frequency modulation in this, where you set different FM ratios and you get just this really rich sound, and you can play with that. So I'm going to try to do something like that, but not as sci-fi. So here we got the initialize thing, and I'm going to switch immediately over into the first oscillator and start playing around with the FM ratio here. Oh yeah, you gotta use the wave shaper, which is kind of like your modulation amount. That's a good enough place to start. And I want to play around with the stereo spectrum on this, so I'm going to abuse the delay. And I'm going to be using the left-right delay that's in delay 2, and I'm totally cranking this up to just give me the wet. So you hear we've got different delay times, but I don't want it to be that dramatic since I'm completely eliminating the dry signal. So I'm going to try this. Just trying to give it a little bit of space between. That's a little too much. All right, it's giving it a little bit of stereo separation. And we've also got filters on the delay, which are independent for each ear. So that gives us an interesting opportunity to actually affect that with an LFO, which I'll show you here. I turn off the left. Right here. I'll turn off the right so you can just hear the left ear. I'll bring in the right now and give it a slightly different intensity and frequency. No, it's just giving it some motion and stuff without being obnoxious, like kind of a dubstep-y LFO on the filter. It's just a little bit of some stuff happening there. I could actually reduce the intensity to make that effect a little bit gentler, which is probably a good idea for what I'm trying to accomplish here. All right, I'm going to go into the first filter now and switch this over into a high-pass filter because I want this to mostly be up in the higher end. All right, let's throw in Oscillator 2 now to get some more stuff going on. God damn it. And I want to give this a different character from the first one. I'm going to reduce that. Oh, and give it some volume. This is probably a good opportunity to use the first envelope here. I'm going to assign the envelope to play with the modulation amount under wave shape. Do I have that on the same? You know, let me... Oh, you hear that already, right? It's not good, but you hear that. Let me give that some sustain. All right, that's a pretty good place to start with that. I'm going to now go back to the first oscillator and try to make this do some sort of a growing thing. I'm going to play with the actual level envelope, which is controlling its amplitude modulation. That might be a little bit too much attack there. And when you're getting all these rich frequencies, it's a really good idea just to test it every once in a while to see if you've gotten too crazy with it and now it's not going to sound good as a chord or whatever. Let's just play a couple of notes together and see how that sounds. That's pretty good. Let me think of how else to make this kind of grow and evolve. Could give the amp some saturation, I guess. You know what, that might be better on a mod wheel. You assign that. Sounding really good right now. Let's see. We've got the opportunity to do some really weird stuff here now. Let me throw in a third oscillator and make that very similar to the first. And let me turn off the other two so we can hear what we've got. But on the first, we don't have anything modulating the wave shape. So on this one, I'm going to try throwing the LFO at that and see what happens. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if that kind of shrillness is going to work out here. You know, it might work if I make the level envelope really severe, so it comes in and then it disappears altogether. There's no sustain, there's no release, and a very short decay, like that. Just kind of a it's got the LFO playing with the amplitude modulation, or excuse me, the frequency modulation amount, and it gives us just this like little zoom and then disappears. I want it to do a little bit more of that though. Let me actually play with a hold rather than increasing the attack. Yeah, like that. Awesome. Let's see how that sounds with oscillators 1 and 2. Not so good up that high. That's still sounding a little shrill. You go over to the delay now and change the frequencies of the left and right channels. Yeah, left is definitely too hot. Nice. It's kind of a gentle thing now. And that gets too high when I do multiple notes. I think it's really high. Oh, you know what? That's right at the onset, right? Like then it immediately calms down. So that's an easy fix by going into the main amplitude envelope and just giving that a little attack. Giving it a little bit more attack. It's almost there. That's a little too much. That's good. I like it. It's not... It sounds a little like it's got the ethereal sort of quality, but it doesn't sound like the super spacey sound that we had before where it was doing like this kind of weird futuristic sound. Using bad analogies here, but you hear this, it doesn't remind you immediately of Blade Runner or whatever. I like it. If you enjoyed this, please consider sponsoring me on Patreon, because that's how these are getting funded. I'm not doing ads, and I'm not doing the YouTube ads. So your contributions are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much to the people that have already sponsored me. And you know, the more people are helping to sponsor these, the more I can dedicate the time to make these. Thanks a lot. So, as you're hearing that, it sounds good, right? Like, it's a kind of a unique take on it. It's not going to repeat itself often. But let's make it not repeat itself even more by adding a lot more variety. And then there's a ring mod signal that's popping in. And it's a lot of fun. Like, I especially love this reverb.